Good morning, Yankees universe. KOD Nation, stand up. And you Degens, wake up and get your coffee. Welcome to another great episode of the Yankees Morning Brew. It is Friday, September 16th, and we have a really great episode. I got two special guests backstage that I'm about to bring on in 2 seconds. You guys know them. They're friends of the channel. They're my friends. They're our friends. As they say in the movies, they're a friend of ours. But guys, we got a great show going on. Just give me 1 second. Got to add this RPTM and bingo. Yeah. So without further ado, I'm bringing my man Nathan and my brother Jason from 161 River Ave. But before I do that, I got to play this little quick video. I'll be right back. My man Nathan and Jason, good morning and welcome to the kingdom.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for obviously having me again on the show, talking to your fans, and obviously nice to meet you, Jason. And I've seen Hector told me great things about your show, and I'm looking forward to connecting with you more after this. And obviously, again, to your fans, and you guys have continued support here, and obviously diving into the Yankees minor league system, because I feel like most people don't know about these prospects as we do. So,
all right. And thank you for having me on too. I gotta say one thing before we talk baseball. That intro with the sword, I need to go watch action movies as soon as this is over.
Yeah. Listen, that's all Jigga Man, the mad scientist who behind the scenes. That's all Jigga Man and the work that he's done. But I appreciate that. Yeah. It gets me a little hyped up. It gets me ready to, because I'm watching the Rings of Power right now on Amazon. So it gets me invested into watching more episode of the Rings of Power.
Yeah, that intro is fire.
Yeah,
I like that.
Yeah.
Appreciate that. But fellas, we have several topics to cover. There was no Yankee game last night. Normally I take the day off. I don't come on after there's no Yankee game. But since it is Friday and since it's a special episode, I want to be able to have this conversation with my fellas. So the first topic that I want to get both of you guys insight on, because we haven't touched this conversation, it's the whole Aaron Judge Shohei Ohtani situation when it comes to the MVP. So I'm gonna start off with you, Jason. Give me your thoughts about who is your MVP and why, and then throw it over to Nathan. But go ahead, Jason.
It's interesting, this conversation. There's a lot of different opinions on this, and I get Shohei Ohtani is having almost a better year than he had last year, right? When he actually won the MVP, but there was no freight train in the way like Aaron Judge, who's having a historic year this year. So as much as I like Shohei Ohtani, I think Aaron Judge, with his offensive production and even the things that he's done, like playing center field, which is not normal for him, and the way that he's kind of propelled himself into a lot of different things here, gives him the edge right now in terms of the MVP. Now, I think if he wins MVP and breaks the record, which could probably really help his case, Maris record towards MVP, and doing it in New York, doing it in a playoff race, and helping carry the Yankees when they were stinking, which is something Ohtani hasn't done really the way the Judge has, to me, gives them a lead or the edge to winning the MVP, in my opinion. I don't know what you guys think, but Ohtani's great. Don't get me wrong. This is the first time we've seen a two-way guy like this.
Yeah.
But I think this year is Judge's race to win here for the MVP.
Yeah. 100%. I gotta agree with that. Nathan, what's your thoughts and sentiments? And I don't know why, for some reason, StreamYard's acting up. It's not letting me load up these visuals that I got. But go ahead, Nathan.
Yeah. So speaking, yeah, I don't know if you guys heard what CC said on his podcast with Ryan Ruocco. He said he obviously Aaron Judge is his friend, but he said that he's picking Ohtani over Judge for MVP, which I don't know. I don't get. Like you said, Jason, it's a rarity that we see a type of player that can do both things with hitting and pitching at the same time. But Aaron Judge, man, we all witnessing history right here, right now, and he's like 4 home runs away from tying Roger Maris's record and breaking and one home run away from breaking it. But so I think we got to go with and he can potentially win a triple crown too with the over 300 batting average, obviously 57 home runs and over 100 RBIs. So that's this is unbelievable what we're seeing. And Yankee fans, please enjoy this because we might not ever see this again from another player or even Aaron Judge. So I know that Ohtani is a great player and putting up great numbers also, but you got to see it from a different perspective here. I think Aaron Judge, what he's doing, and obviously this is, you know what I heard. Oh, can you hear me?
No, go ahead. You can finish. You can finish. Yeah, okay, we get you.
Yeah. So yeah, this is someone said earlier that this is like for Judge. This is the most historic season we ever seen from a guy who's heading into his free agency. That's one of my friends said that. So I think I'm going to go with Judge here. I think he deserves the MVP, in my opinion.
And just to your point, talk about a year to bet on himself.
Yeah,
Judge did. I mean, it is paying off jackpot times 10 for Aaron Judge.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I mean, brilliant move on his part.
Yes,
brilliant move on his part. So you know.
Yeah, and you guys make great points, Nathan, and you said it perfectly when you said this is probably the greatest season. I know this is the greatest season I've seen a Yankee had, like, and IRL, like up close and personal, watching from afar, watching from home. Aaron Judge is probably having the best season a Yankees have had since I've been watching this team. I'm not sure about you guys. Jason, you were able to see Don Mattingly in his prime. So when it comes to historic season, Aaron Judge is probably having one of the best, and he's going to get paid. No matter if it's from the Yankees or from somebody else, he's good. He's definitely going to get paid. And, it leads a perfect way to the next conversation. Jason, where do you think Aaron Judge is going to go? I know, you and I, we've talked about this, and especially on your channel, but September 16th, with him having 57 home runs, when him literally being on the cusp of breaking Roger Maris's record, where do you see this man going, and what's the dollar figure you think it is?
Well, I'm going to tell you this. I mean, even Michael Kay said this. He said it wouldn't make any sense at all. Basically, don't make an offer unless it's $100 million over what they initially offered, which was 213.5. Adding the 8th year of arbitration would have been 230. So let's say 330 is the floor at this point for Aaron Judge, especially if he takes those two records, the home run record and he wins the MVP. I think that's going to be the floor. And let's just say Gerrit Cole, for example, is 36 a year for 9 years. That's 324. All right, you bump it to 4. I think it's going to take almost $40 million a year to get Judge. And I personally can't see him signing for under or less than 8 or 9 years. I know a lot of folks would want 7 years. That's what I too. But an 8-year contract, pretty much get ready to pay for about 3 or 4 decline years. But that's they're paying for the first 5 years or 4 years of elite ball with the goal of winning a world championship. And I know he's recently talked about Boston, which stirred up a lot of people. Yeah. That's master gamesmanship. That's the way to raise the price up on the team that you probably want to stay with. But who better to pin against it than Boston, right? I personally think at this point I could see Cashman holding a hard line. Not going beyond a number, and I think he walks to the West Coast to either the Giants or the Dodgers or Angels.
Wow.
Nathan, go ahead, brother. It balls in your court, bro.
Dodgers, man, they keep getting everyone here. There's like it's not fair. But when it comes to Judge, I mean, obviously he's gonna ask for a lot of money. He deserves the money, obviously. So I think he's gonna get around. I agree with Jason. I think he's not gonna sign for under 7 years. I think he's gonna get an 8 to 9 year deal, and then over I'm going to say over 300 million. I'm going to say 350 or 360. And I'm going to and Jason, I agree with you. If he leaves, it would be the West Coast, either I'm not going to say the Dodgers. I'm going to say Giants or Angels. I'm going to bring it back to Scott Braun's point when he was on Hector's show. I think he has better insight than us, but obviously Aaron Judge is from the West Coast. He's a family-oriented person, and Garrett Cole, obviously he's from the West Coast, but he decided to come to New York. You see what happened there, but for be honest, I think it's going to come down to money and ears, and also it's going to come down to Judge. Where does Judge want to play? I think it's going to come down to his heart. Where does he want to be? Where does he want to play? Does he want to continue his legacy in New York or build a new one in his home? So I think it's a lot of questions going into the off season. But right now, fans they need to enjoy him. But I think he's going to get 8 to 9 years, 360. That's my opinion.
Yeah, and go ahead, Jason. Go ahead, brother.
I was going to say the only way I see the Yankees getting him is if they give him 9 years. I'm saying if they give him 9 years and at least 40 per.
And I don't know if it's because it was an off day yesterday and there was no Yankee game, so they had nothing to talk about. They had no pregame, nothing to talk about. So this conversation was circling all throughout New York City when it comes to sports radio, New York, the whole tri-state area. I was listening to the Michael K show as well yesterday, when the conversation was having, and I feel you. I'm 50-50 on if the Yankees will draw a line in the sand, right? Because I agree with what Peter Rosenberg said on the show when he said that if Aaron Judge, if the Yankees, if he breaks this record this season and they go on a historic route, if World Series, whatever, they get there, they don't win it, but they get to the World Series, will Yankee fans riot if Aaron Judge signs with someone else? Now it comes down to if he signs with a West Coast team, I'll be happy with it, especially in the National League, because we're not going to have to see him that much. He'll be on the West Coast doing his thing. We ain't going to see him that much. But if he signs with either the Red Sox or the Mets, Jason, I'll throw this to you. What would be worse as a Yankee fan, right? Would it be signing with the Mets right across the street, right across the borough in Queens, or signing with a division rival like the Red Sox? Which one will hurt us more?
Well, personally, I think the Red Sox, because we're going to have to face them almost 20 times a year.
Yeah.
We don't face them in interleague play or the World Series. So while it would stink, the Mets would have bragging rights and stuff. I think it would sting more because I think he could hurt us more significantly as a member of the Boston Red Sox. So, but I'll say this. If they sign him, I see Devers walking.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Go ahead, Nathan.
Yeah, I mean, I think if he signs with Boston, it's going to hurt more, obviously, because division rival, and we got to face him a lot. And you know what? It would be funny. A funny story is if Judge goes to Boston and Devers go to New York. That'd be a funny story right there.
That would be.
That'd be a great storyline. And or even, how about we get the double? How about we get Bogarts and Devers, and then Judge walks to Boston?
That's funny. It would be that back. You remember the 40s when they had that handwritten note deal, Lou Gehrig for was it Ted Williams at the time? This is full circle of that finally coming to fruition. Judge going to Fenway and Devers coming to the Bronx. And if they entertain it, and I'll throw to you, Jason, if Judge was to play 81 games in Fenway Park, he's hitting 70 home runs.
Yeah, over that monster. Yeah. Oh God, yeah. He'd just be crushing it over there. And you have him like with some of these other guys. I think it's just a much more homer-friendly place for a guy like him, who's got these massively high pull home runs. He hits into the second deck in Yankee Stadium. He would just demolish the ball. He would demolish the ball over there. So
Oh, puppy alert. Got to get the star of the show on the camera. Got to get the star of the show. But yeah, it's an interesting conversation to have. Yes, there was an off day yesterday, so of course that's why it was circulating through the air. But like I put in your comment for the video that you had, Jason, I don't think the Red Sox are going to pony up that money for Judge, right? Because like I said, if they had that money to spend, they would have spent that on Mookie Betts instead of trading him to the Dodgers and trying to recuperate that. But I want to ask you, because when Scott Braun was on the show, right, he talked about who would you rather be when it comes to fan base? Would you rather the Yankees continue success within these past 20 years, one championship, or would you rather these past 20 years, you get 3 or 4 championships from the Red Sox, but you have 5 or 6, maybe 8 losing seasons sprinkled in between? What's your thoughts, Jason, on it? Would you rather this consistent one championship or a few losing seasons with multiple championships?
I like the consistency because you have to go through that hell just to kind of get back up. So it's almost like it reminds me of teams like the Marlins who gut a little bit and win, and gut and win, and gut and win, the ebbs and flows. I like the Yankees kind of staying above water on a regular basis, and on occasion getting to that pinnacle. But I have to say, I mean, I have to give Boston credit for their boldness to make these really, really hard decisions to put them in position to do that. But keep in mind, that one World Championship, the Yankees have had one GM in the last 25 years. The Red Sox have had 4.
Yes.
4 different regimes. So it's not like they did it with Theo Epstein alone. The Yankees have done it alone. So that to me is more impressive too. So I'd stick with the Yankees consistency because I do think they're going to be poised to win a series of championships at some point too as well. But to your point too, with Judge, let's just say he goes to Boston, versus like Ellsbury and Damon. This will be the first time that a Yankee superstar has gone Boston rather than a Boston superstar. That would be crazy. It would be crazy.
Yeah. You probably have those end of the tier superstars or the stars that fade out, like David Cone going to Boston. Who would have thought that would have happened? But it's almost like Bernie, like you said, Bernie Williams, when he almost went to Boston, but George at the last second called him back, offered him more money, gave him the money that he wanted, and ultimately. Did it hurt it? Did it help us in the long run? No. We could look back we could look back these past 20 years when it comes to contract extensions and look to see which actually helped us and which actually hurt us. We love Derek Jeter, right? But the last 2 years of his contract, he had broken ankles. He was hurt. Yeah. That's not his fault, but that's his fault. I mean, that's not his fault. That's just how it worked out. And Brian Cashman in the back was like, twiddling his thumbs, like, see, this is what I told you. This is why I want to give you all that money. Blah, blah, blah. It's all an ego-based thing, Jason. What's your thoughts on it? And throw it over to Nathan.
Well, it's crazy because I think Cashman is willing to take the heat to criticize his own players, right? Whereas Dean and Hal are not publicly. Cashman takes punches left and right. And I think it's going to be the same thing. He's going to take that hard stance with Judge and say, you're great and all, but you're going to be 31. You've injured, like you've had 3 injured years versus blah, blah, blah. Yeah. He's going to come up with a mountain of excuses to justify why he shouldn't get whatever money he's eventually going to get. So, again, he's willing to take those punches unlike anybody else on the Yankees. So, to me, I think it's going to be a really fascinating offseason. Yeah. But if I'm him, I'm striking early as possible in free agency. Sometimes they wait too long, and then teams just strike and strike and strike. Well, oh my God, the Marlins! Like, who expected the Mariners to trade for Luis Castillo?
Yeah,
things like that just come out of nowhere, and then he's like, oh, I got to pick from the leftovers again. So I'm taking a little bit of a different approach this offseason. They've got $112 million coming off the books. The Giants do, so they are positioned perfectly to spend. Now, I don't think they're going to spend that 112, but I think they're positioned nicely to spend. And if they're going to spend, I mean, Judge is obviously a big diamond to be spending on. Yeah. So it's going to be fascinating. I mean, Cashman's going to throw down a gauntlet, man.
Yeah, definitely. Go ahead, Nathan. What's your thoughts?
Yeah, Jason, man, hit it right on the head. And I agree with him with consistency. I think it's I love consistency. I don't want obviously championship and then breaking up the team. It's all about consistency in the game of baseball. Obviously, it's a long season. Anything can happen. So I agree. I think consistency is the biggest thing for the Yankees over the last 5-10 years. Has been over in the playoffs, except for the 2008 season, but they've been in the playoffs ever since. So I like the consistency, and obviously championships are nice, but you got to have the right team to win that championship. So and when it comes to the whole situation with Brian Cashman and all, Hal Steinbrenner, man, he's to be honest, he's like he needs to speak more, in my opinion. He never speaks He never speaks. I think he needs to speak more. He needs to help out with Brian Cashman and obviously Randy Levine. He speaks a lot on podcasts and shows. You see him on John Heyman's show and Joel Sherman. I think Hal needs to speak more, but there's a lot of pressure on Cashman this offseason. Obviously, this free agent pool is supposed to be great. I heard amazing free agent pool. So Cashman he obviously has other holes to fill other than Judge. But I think the main thing is to try and get Judge done early, or obviously he's going to test the market. But I think somehow Cashman needs to get Judge done early and then figure out the other pieces. But there is a lot of pressure on him. This is like and I think Cashman is a free agent too, right? This year.
Cashman
Yeah. So I think obviously this is a big year. I mean, big off season for himself too. So let's see.
Yeah, and that's perfect answer. And I was going to lead perfectly into that, and I'll throw it right over to you, Jason. With Cashman being this is his last year, or he's going to be, his contract is done after this season. What's your thoughts on either an extension for Cashman? Either, now the rumors are going around because Jeter had that comment he made at the Yankee game last Friday, talking about, you guys want to cheer. Trust me. Yeah. What's your thoughts, Jason? You think, because I heard some rumors that Cashman may even retire after this season. That people are not even considering that. I had a conversation with Pete Simonetti from NY News, and he was talking about people from his end was saying that Cashman may even retire. Go ahead, Jason. What's your thoughts?
Well, I've heard that too. But I think, I'll wait until it actually happens if he does. The only way I see Jeter replacing Cashman is if he retires. I don't think they're going to fire him and bring Jeter on. I've said this on my channel too. I think it's going to be for a couple of reasons. I think if Jeter's going to come over here, he's going to want a piece of the team, ownership of the team, right? Like he had in the Marlins. I don't know if Hal's willing to do that. Okay, number one. Two, he's going to want to run things his way and not be a yes man to the powers that be above. And I don't know if they're willing to do that either. So I think it would be a battle to get Jeter here. But Jeter also he knows he was the face of New York for 20 years.
Yep.
Face of the Yankees for 20 years. So if you're going to bring somebody like that, you're going to have to give him a little bit of flexibility to do his thing. He did a pretty solid job at the Marlins. He had less to work with, a hell of a lot less financial resources, but he turned him into a playoff contender in 3 years.
Yeah.
And that matters, okay? And I think he could do the same thing here. But he also has some of that old school mentality in him too. So it's going to be kind of old school competing with new school with the analytics and all these other things as well. So how they mesh together, I think, is going to be part of the tough negotiating process. But I have heard too about Cashman potentially retiring. And I also heard about a potential silent agreement they've already had to kind of extend his life as a GM. So I can also see a transition where he might retire as GM and just put him up in the front office and bring Jeter in, GM or something like that. So I think there's a couple of different ways they can do it. And if that retirement is either retiring from GMing or just retiring from baseball altogether. So that's my other curiosity. But Jeter would be one of the very few people I would think to bring in here. Because I always ask in my channel too, like, who is available and interested if you're going to get rid of Cashman? It has to be both. They have to be available and interested. That's actually an upgrade, not just some random guy who sucks, bring him in. I don't, that, like, I don't really.
Yeah.
The only person I know that is at like Cashman's level and above is Theo Epstein. Okay, he's also a big timer in MLB now. Would he actually transition back to being a GM?
No.
I don't know. I don't know, but those are the two guys I could think of: Jeter and Theo Epstein.
So, No, go ahead, Nathan. I was just about to throw it to you. Go ahead, brother. What's your thoughts on it? Give me your sentiments.
Yeah, so speaking on the Jeter situation, he's the one who was able to unload Stanton contract to us. So don't never forget about that. He was able.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah, so that and gave Marlins more flexibility to make moves for them in the future. But when it comes to Jeter, I would love to have him on the front office again here in New York. Obviously, face of the franchise, but the big question is if that happens, if Cashman goes, would you think whoever is the next GM, whoever it is, Jeter or whoever, do you think Boone goes? Do you think they'll keep Boone or does Boone go too? That's the biggest question here. If Brian Cashman goes or not, because I heard somewhere where Cashman and Boone is a package deal. I think I don't know, but that's what I heard. But
Go ahead, Jason.
That's a really good question too. And I also hear like, well, if Jeter comes in as a GM, he's going to bring in Mattingly.
Yeah.
To manage. Well, first of all, he's still managing, but so the Marlins going to have to fire him first in order for him to become a free agent. So I don't know if that's going to happen either. So those types of things have to be, I think, put in place. And Jeter, I mean, he's a very methodical guy. So I think he would have all the chess pieces already in play to do what he wants to do. So that would be, that's a really good question. If Jeter comes in, does Boone go?
Yeah.
I'm 50-50 on that. Unless I think Jeter has his guy ready to come in, that's the only way I see Boone going. I think that piece has to be in order.
Yeah, I was having conversations with different people, and the name like Mark DeRosa, Mark DeRosa popped up, and I love Mark DeRosa. I think he had a phenomenal career, very professional. Injuries bit him at the end when he finally was able to put it together from a hitting perspective. But honestly, I don't think Mark DeRosa would make that leap from the MLB network to become a manager for the Yankees, because I looked up Mark DeRosa. Mark DeRosa, he's making $900K with the MLB network for one season, right? That's his yearly salary, $900K. Aaron Boone, when he signed with the Yankees as a first-time manager, his first season, he was only getting $750K. So I can't see somebody going from $900K, taking a pay cut for more work. Now he has to travel with the team. Now he has to be more involved. Now, instead of his just, his one production meeting a day, now he has to have a meeting with the pitching coach, the hitting coach, the guys from upstairs, the analytic guy. So I just think if the Yankees offer him $1 million per season, maybe, but I'm not sure if just an extra $100K a year is going to entice somebody to leave the comfortability of the Major League Network to manage. Maybe, I'm not sure. Maybe Mark DeRosa has that itch. Maybe he'll take the pay cut to be a manager because he has that itch and want to. I'm not too sure, but I agree with you, Nathan, when you say that Boone and Cashman are a package deal. I 100% agree with you on that. I feel Boone, whether it's football, basketball, or baseball, if there's a new GM or a new president, then there's definitely a new coach. It has to be a new coach. You can't have anybody. You can't have any remnants of the old regime. It's just going to leave a nasty taste in your mouth, and you're just going to be the Knicks all over again. That's what the Knicks do. We fire people and we keep certain people. That's what we do all the time. But Jason, I'll throw it over to you. Now with how the team has been playing, especially since September 4th, this team is 9-2, I want to say, since September 4th. Jason, how comfortable are you with the team right now and with the reinforcements that are on the way? What's your thoughts on it? And throw it over to Nathan.
I feel better each week, but I really want to see how like Bader comes, how that Bader does. I think Bader could be a huge piece here. And the skill set and that gamer attitude that he brings, I think, could be gigantic here, especially if Benintendi doesn't make it back. To me, Bader's a perfect guy to fill in Benintendi's shoes. And just on the other end, Carpenter, if Carpenter doesn't come back, we need Stanton to heat up, right? So I feel good about it. Now, I heard today that Severino might be back Wednesday.
Yeah.
Bader might be back Tuesday. Chapman scheduled today. So, and Rizzo scheduled for Sunday. Now, a corresponding roster is going to have to make for each one of these guys be put on the 28th. So I'm more curious to see who they're going to take off the roster to bring these guys on the roster. So odd guys out, I could see like LeCastro, Florial, Andujar, those are like the three mainstay guys. After that, it's going to be kind of dicey. I want E. Frost back here.
Yes.
I feel better about Britton being part of the postseason roster than I do Chapman at this point. So, but with the guys coming back and how they mesh into the team, like if guys like Britton and Chapman, they need to be put in low leverage situations and kind of earn their way back up, do it the right way. I don't want to sit, an Oswaldo Cabrera, play Bader or play Carpenter or whatever. Like they got to figure out a way to put the best pieces on this roster in the lineup every day. So that's going to be the most fascinating piece for me. But I do feel better every week. I need to see a consistent pattern of winning series too. We won the last 2 series, and actually 3 series now. In the first half of the season, they won 95% of their series that they played. Now they keep propelling forward, and with the guys that they have that are playing, you get the Brewers. Who else? We have the Pirates, the Blue Jays, Texas Rangers, and the Orioles. I think 5 series left, right? They have a good shot at winning the majority of these series.
Yep.
With the Orioles might be tough. I mean, anybody could be tough, but like if we see a consistent pattern of play in good health, and how they plug these pieces back, I think they could be a pretty dangerous weapon. You know, and like the Rays got healthy a couple weeks ago. The Yankees are getting it now. The Mets are also getting healthy. Scherzer's on his way back too. So these guys are kind of getting healthy at the right time. So I feel better, I'll put that way. I feel a hell of a lot better than I did a month ago.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
But I feel better like kind of each week now, seeing them kind of winning and feeding off each other and looking like they're actually happy and interested. That's a good thing to look at with the eye. So it really is. So I feel better. I feel better.
Definitely. Nathan, same question your way, but on top of it, talk about the players that are rehabbing at Somerset and what are you seeing from a first-hand perspective? Go ahead, Nathan.
Yeah, I'm gonna get to Bader soon, but first, obviously we're starting a big series tonight in Milwaukee, so that's the Yankees need to pay attention to that. Stay focused, stay locked in. As people like to say in sports, stay locked in. So especially in Milwaukee, it's tough to play in that stadium. And obviously we're getting Chapman back today, which is a good sign. But like Jason said, you got to work him way back into low-level situation. He looked good. Actually, we covered him. It was 2 days ago he pitched. Yeah, 2 days ago we covered him. He pitched great. He was throwing a couple times. He threw 100 miles per hour. His spin to his ball to he located his pitches really well on that in the outing. So I guess they saw something good. So that's why they brought him back on for today. So Chapman looks good. We just have to keep that consistency what he did in that Somerset outing. But with the reinforcements coming up, Yankee fans should be excited about Bader. Obviously, we got the first hand and covering Bader. We got to interview him 4 or 5 days ago. He's a good person. Yesterday, he was 3 out of 4 with 2 doubles yesterday. He hit a home run the day before. Man, this guy's been hitting the ball well. His defense is obviously one of the best defensive outfielders, in my opinion, I've seen in person. Obviously, he got the speed back. He was showing his speed yesterday, the day before running the bases. This guy, we spoke to the manager yesterday. He said that it's awesome having him here. He said all the players watching him go about his business, the way he plays the game. He's a winner. He wants to win. Harrison Bader wants to win. He brings something special to this team. And if healthy, obviously he's healthy now. He's looking great. But we can see him probably Tuesday back in New York making his debut. But it was awesome. I mean, I think he's still there tonight in Somerset. I got to see, but when I go there, but it's great for me. It's a great experience covering his rehab assignment, getting the first hand and interviewing him, and obviously he's going to bring a lot to this team, in my opinion.
Awesome. And top notch. Shout out, you got to give you your flowers because that interview was awesome. I appreciate you. Thank you for sending that to me. I sent Jason the footage. He showed it on his channel as well. I totally appreciate that for sending it to me. And then on top of it, that was a great question that you asked him. Coming over from St. Louis to New York, everybody talked about for years that St. Louis is like the Yankees 2.0 in the National League, right? They have a tradition. It's a team, one of the legacy teams in the sport of baseball. So coming over, it seems like it's going to be a seamless transition for Harrison Bader. Like you said, he seems like he's a gamer. I wish he would have kept the mullet. I would have loved to see that mullet flowing in Yankee Stadium, honestly, going around the bases. He looks way different now, but honestly, his speed, his defense, and if we could get anything out of his bat that's better than what we're getting from Aaron Hicks, I think it's a plus. I didn't want to fully judge the Montgomery trade until we got to see what Harrison Bader does for this Yankee team. Seeing him in the minors, he had the home run the other day. He went 3 for 4 yesterday. He looks like he's ready to go. Go ahead, Jason.
No, you brought up the perfect point. Not fully judging the trade until we saw the return. That's the way I feel about the Minnesota trade. We haven't seen Ben work it yet. So I'm hesitant to judge that trade too because we haven't seen that guy yet. And he's known as being an elite pitch framer, kind of the left-hand version of Jose Trevino.
Yeah.
Bader, and I said this too on my channel, he reminds me of Rougned Odor. Okay? The reason why, not flashy stats, but Odor always had a tendency to come through for the Yankees when they needed it. To put him up, tie the game with a hit or a home run and blah, blah, blah. And that game or two attitude, I think he's going to be kind of an Odor part two here. But an elite defender in the outfield and a tendency. And keep in mind, And if the Yankees have not used one weapon this year, and that's a speed around the bases.
Yeah.
Okay. With the exception of IKF, nobody else is doing it. Benintendi was one of those guys. Bader's going to be one of those guys. And now you have Oswald Peraza and Oswaldo Cabrera. They were base stealing machines in AAA. Okay. And as is Volpe, as is Sweeney, as Dominguez. So they have a lot of speedy weapons now. It's a different dynamic that they could throw at teams that they haven't seen yet from the Yankees. So, and I think they have an opportunity here to kind of throw teams off with some of these guys, get guys on base, move them over, this and then just create hell on the base paths for opposing pitchers. So I think they're kind of primed and ready to be able to do that, especially when guys like Bader come back.
Yeah, 100%. I want to ask you, Nathan, real quick. And you could chime in with your point that you was about to make as well, because Jason brought up Jason Dominguez. You know, I'm a big Jason Dominguez fan. Nathan interviewed him the other day. Like I said, finish your statement that you was about to make, but try to segue Jason Dominguez as well into the convo. Go ahead, brother.
Yeah, speaking of Harrison Bader, one of my shout out to the New York Post, by the way. One of my questions to Harrison Bader made the New York Post the next day in the morning time, and shout out to them. And they put on SNY and New York Post. So that's
so happy for you.
Incredible.
Awesome.
But to segue into Jason Dominguez, we got the opportunity to interview him yesterday. So yesterday was media day for Somerset. They usually do it on Thursdays. We interviewed not only him, we interviewed Trey Sweeney, Tyler Hardman. We interviewed the manager, and then the guy named everyone needs to watch out for Andre Chaparro. This guy is hitting the ball like a machine. We interviewed him yesterday too. But to Jason Dominguez, what a great person. Obviously, he's struggling a little bit at the plate right now in Somerset. He's like 0 for 10, but he's playing good defense. I got a video of him making a nice catch in center field the other day. But when it comes to his personality, is awesome. And the two questions I asked him yesterday was, what does it mean for you to be a Yankee? And also the other one, how did you get your nickname, the Martian? He doesn't know who gave it to him. The translator said, but he said that the translator said that he was super excited that the Yankees gave him an opportunity, and he's taken every opportunity he's taken advantage of this opportunity here to be a Yankee. The translator said to us yesterday. But this guy is the real deal. He just needs to be more consistent at the plate. But once he does, Yankee fans need to be excited.
Nathan, I've got a question. Sorry.
Go ahead, Jason. No. Go ahead.
With regards to that, have you noticed that? And I've seen this, like the transition from A to AA is so much more difficult than it is from AA to AAA. Have you noticed that? And what kind of things are you noticing that makes it so difficult? Is it a skill set thing? Is it that much of a level jump? Because I noticed there was an adjustment period with Volpe.
Yeah.
So he has it, and Dominguez is having it now, but they transition so much more seamlessly to AAA.
Yes.
What do you notice about that?
That's a great question. I know. So obviously, like I said, Jason Dominguez, after he got called up from Hudson Valley to Somerset, he's 0 for 10 right now, and I think it's just, to be honest, the way I look at it is these players be rushing too much, coming from single A, and they don't. I think the adjustment period maybe is too fast for them. But like for example, Volpe obviously has experience now, had experience in AA, and now he's. I think for me, when it comes to single A, and it's just a matter of like rushing. Jason Dominguez is rushing, in my opinion, when it comes to the play, and because when they transition from AA to AAA, I feel like they had the experience already. But coming from single A to AA, they need to learn more about the game and learning how to make adjustments. But I feel like the way I look at it, it's about rushing for these players.
Do you think also because the hype that's been attached to Jason Dominguez, that pressure just
makes? I think so too. I think all the hype with Jason Dominguez and being the top outfield prospect right now in the Yankee system, I think that's getting to him. But like I said, he needs to be more consistent, and when he does that, and when he gets once he gets comfortable in the AA system, obviously he's going to be with Somerset next year too. We're going to see them, and then as he continues to grow in AA, I feel like he's going to get rid of the outside distraction and focus on the game.
So I have one more question if I could ask, Hector.
Go ahead, brother.
You brought up Andres Chaparro.
Yeah.
One of the things I noticed about him, he's gone from rookie ball to single A to double A in one season. That is a huge jump. And he's also playing an infield position. So he's flying under the radar while the Sweeneys and the Volpes and Price, all these other guys of the world are being hyped. So to me, it makes him a valuable piece for them. He's not big guys like 6'1", 200, but he's tearing the cover off the ball. 19 home runs, 53 RBIs. He only has 250 at bats. Extrapolate that over a season. That's like a 40 home run season, right? He's got an OPS almost 1,000. It's crazy. And I said this. I'm actually glad you brought him up because I actually did a video on the guy yesterday. So it's like fate. I swear to God.
Yeah.
We have to protect him. They have to decide to protect him for the Rule 5 draft this offseason.
Yeah. So like I said, we got to interview him yesterday. He said, I asked him through his translator, who is a player that you like to grow up watching right now? I mean, like to watch right now on film wise. He brought up Aaron Judge. He loves watching Aaron Judge, and he looks like a little bit of like Aaron Judge face wise. But he brought up Aaron Judge. He loved watching him, and he said, to be honest, this guy reminds me of a mini Miguel Cabrera. I think the way he hits his batting stance is, and the way he hits the ball, and he plays the infield obviously like Miguel Cabrera did. You know how I think didn't Cabrera start off as a third baseman in his career?
He started off as a third baseman. They played him in left field because they had Mike Lowe.
Yeah. So this guy Andre Chaparro reminds me of him, the body structure in the batting stance. But he told me he loves watching Aaron Judge a lot, as breaking down film, the way he the approach to at bats, and like I said, he's on the power streak, and it's been fun covering him too. Yankee fans, be on the lookout for him. I think this guy can help out potentially. And I agree with you, Jason. It is really important to protect him in the so he doesn't leave the Rule 5 with the Rule 5.
I think he gets scooped up pretty quickly by a team looking for a power bat. My curiosity now is because after 2023, okay, Donaldson is going to be no longer with the Yankees, or if he's not traded this offseason. Even if they move IKF to third base this year, right? He's a free agent after 2023. Now, to me, the question is, are they going to continue to let this kid develop, or go for a guy like Devers, who's also a free agent at the same time?
Yeah.
That to me poses a really, really interesting scenario for the Yankees. If this kid keeps getting better, why not? You could have him, you could have Volpe, you could have this young, ridiculously dynamic infield.
Yeah, I think the way he's been developing and rising in the system, if I were the Yankees, I would not overpay for a third baseman. I think you need to continue watching his development into the system, and like I said, power hitter. That's what you want out of the third base. This guy is I saw an interesting article on him. Someone said that he's like the hitting gem for the Yankees. No one knows about him. And, he's not even ranked in the prospect list. So I think with me getting the insight, I'll be there again tonight. So I'm hoping he's in the lineup. So I'll take videos of him more so I can send it to you guys. But this guy is – I think if I were the Yankees, do not overpay for a third baseman. Keep an eye on him. And try and protect him from the Rule 5, like you said, Jason. I think we need to keep him. This guy is working his ass off hard every day, every game, and he brings it to the table.
I'm glad I noticed him now. I mean, some people on the live stream are telling me you got to do a profile, you got to talk about him. I hadn't paid enough attention to him, but I'm glad that they did. Because I could research
he was down there when I went to go see the Tarpons around July 4th, when I went to go see Jason Dominguez and Austin Wells. He was down there playing for them, and he had a rocket double. So when you talked about him yesterday, I was like, oh wow, that's the kid that was playing down there for Tampa. And Nathan, last time he was on the show, and I'm gonna run through the list again because we have Jason here. Just think about it like this, because Jason, you brought it up. Go ahead, Nathan. Go ahead, bro.
Sorry to cut you off, but you guys should make the trip down tonight to Somerset.
Oh, bro, if I had the ability to make it down there, I would, bro. Trust me, I would. But we could plan that out. When's the last game of the season for Somerset?
Sunday.
Oh, Sunday is the last game of the season.
Playoffs start next Thursday.
Okay.
Yeah, Sunday is the last game.
That whoop. Damn, I wish I had time to do it because I'm busy this weekend. But I want to run through the list because I got Jason here, and Jason just brought something up, which I think is awesome. You talked about the ability for the Yankees to develop these guys in the minors, bring them to the majors, right? You know, the Yankees, they love controllability. They love to be able to manipulate the contracts. They love to be able to do that. So just let's have this conversation. We got Volpe, Dominguez, Peraza, Wells, Pereira, Trey Sweeney, Spencer Jones, Will Warren, Clayton Beater, Luis Hill, Roger Arias, and I'm going to end it at Yoenis Gomez. Those are 12 players, the top 12 players of our prospects. Nathan, we had the conversation. If the Yankees can just hit on 80% of them, 70% of them, you got probably 8 guys that you can have a part of your roster for the next 6 to 7 years that are controllable, that you could just fit in pieces behind them. Nathan, what do you think? What's your thoughts on these prospects? You see them up close and personal. You got the inside source. Are these prospects, are they going to be the real deal?
Yeah, I'm going to, like I said on your show before, I'm going to say 85% the Yankees hit on all this. Like you said, these prospects have been rising through the system and been improving every day. And the couple pitchers, I like the Gomez, the guy who threw the combined no-hitter the other day with Steven Jennings. Gomez has been improving. I like his stuff. Great repertoire to his pitches, and he locates the ball. And Will Warren, watch out for Will Warren. He just he can be too inconsistent sometimes, but when he's on, he's a good pitcher. But I'm going to say 85%. Being up close to these people, I'm going to say 85% that the Yankees hit on this for the future.
It's huge.
Go ahead, Jason. What's your thoughts on the possibility of the Yankees hitting on those?
I would say probably around there. I mean, they have they're very good at developing position players, okay, and relief pitchers.
Yeah.
Where I think they could be moving upward is obviously developing starting pitchers as well. But keep in mind, even Ken Waldichuk, he wasn't a first-round pick.
No.
So none of the top pitching prospects they had were first-round picks. So on occasion, I would like to see them maybe draft a pitcher in the first round, a starting pitcher they could build. Because I think the last one he did in the first round might have been Clark Schmidt from South Carolina. I think it was maybe the last pitcher. So with the exception of Andrew Brackman, who's no longer here, but I could see about 85% of these guys. And the fact is too, if you're going to let these guys develop and bring them up, please play them.
Yes.
If you're not going to play them, please trade them for a piece you don't have. Okay, keep it moving forward one way or another. But this is kind of reminiscent of what the Braves are doing right now. They're locking up their entire young nucleus for a decade.
Yeah.
The Albies, the Austin Rileys, all these guys, they're all locked up for the next 80 years. Even if they're $100 million or whatever, they're buying out arbitration. And that $100 million for the next 8 years is going to look like a bargain when you're later on. Yeah. So I think if the Yankees are smart, they could do a similar thing. And these kids show to be the real deal. I would lock them up for as long as you possibly can. Let them hit free agency at 29, 30 or whatnot. You had all those prime years of development there. So you're in prime position to do this too.
Yeah, I want to bring up – sorry.
No. I was gonna say there's 2 guys, and I'll throw it to you right after this, Nathan. There's 2 guys, right? One of them is on this lease with Clayton Beater. Clayton Beater is the pitcher that we got back for the Joey Gallo deal from the Dodgers. Clayton Beater, since joining the Yankees, he is pitching to a 2.66 ERA. Since joining the Yankees minor league system, he has 22 innings, and he has 38, almost 40 strikeouts in that time. Another prospect that I want Yankee fans to keep their eye on. This is what I think is the true gem of the Yankees system. It's a shortstop. It's not Roger Arias. It's an 18-year-old shortstop out of Venezuela. This year in the Dominican Summer League, right? He led all of the Dominican Summer League in every offensive category except for home runs. But check this out. These were his numbers. He led the Dominican Summer League in batting average with a .310 batting average. He had a 5-on-4 on-base percentage, a 5.06 slugging percentage. So he has an on-base and slugging an OPS of over 1,000. Right? Just put that in mind. He had an on-base percentage of over 500. He had a 5-on-4 on-base percentage. So that goes to show you that at 18 years old, his pitch recognition is already there.
Yes.
Right? When it comes to extra base hits, he had, let's see, where's it at? Sorry. He had 23 extra base hits, right? 16 of them being doubles, 4 of them being stolen bases. He had 28 RBIs in total, 58 base on board. So he walked 58 times. He had 34 stolen bases, and he was only caught twice.
It's advanced hitter.
At 18, and he's a switch hitter. He's 18 years old. He's standing already at 6'2" with a lean body. His body is not even fully developed at 18. So I implore everybody to look up Kiner Delgado out of the Yankee system, an 18-year-old player. I think this kid is going to be the gem of the system. Go ahead, Nathan. What you was about to say? Go ahead,
where is he at?
He's the Dominican Summer League. It just finished, so he's about to start. Yeah, it just finished, so he's probably going to go up to Tampa or go up to low A ball just to get some reps in over there.
Okay. Yeah, I gotta look more. I'm gonna look him up now. Okay, I know about him. But, yeah, so when it comes to Clay Bader, man, this guy, something changed when he came to Somerset. I don't know what they did to him, but probably changed his repertoire. He's been nasty. I haven't seen him pitch live yet in action, but we haven't covered him pitching wise. But the things I've been hearing, his reports and everything, this guy, he could be a great bullpen piece for the Yankees. I don't know about starter, but I think a great bullpen piece in the near future here. As he keeps developing here with Somerset. But his numbers, like Hector brought up, the numbers changed big time. He wasn't even listed on the top 10 prospect list with the Dodgers. He was not. Now he's on the Yankees top prospect list now, which is amazing to see in his development. So I can't wait to see him pitch live action. I'm really looking forward to see him pitch. But another pitcher that I guess everyone forgot about, Steven Ridings. We covered his bullpen the other day. He threw 2 simulated innings. He looked good. He threw one ball came out of was 100 miles per hour. So he looks bad. He's ready, but obviously he needs more time. I don't think he's going to help out the Yankees this year. Probably next year. But this guy is nasty. He's elite. He's the real deal. Obviously, we all saw him what he did in the big leagues. But he's working his way back right now with Somerset. So that's another pitcher that we're covering, and Yankee fans do not forget about him.
He's a big boy, right?
Like 6'3", 6'4". Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Fellas, so we're starting to get around that time. It's about to be 12 o'clock. The Yankees do have a game tonight versus Milwaukee. So let's get some predictions in before we dip out. Jason, I'll throw it over to you. What's your thoughts tonight for the Yankees? Let me just get the starting pitcher. I believe the starting pitcher is Montas pitching tonight for the Yankees. I just want to just double check. And also, what's your thoughts on Montas so far with the Yankees? Because the last start out that he had against Tampa, I didn't think it was that bad. It's just the defense failed him. You know, Aaron Hicks had that horrible game in left field. And how Aaron Hicks and IKF, this is why I can't wait for them to get rid of the shift. Because both plays, IKF had an error. They didn't call an error because of the shift. Aaron Hicks, they didn't call an error because of the shift. He was shifted in the outfield. Go ahead, Jason.
Yeah, I mean, I think one of the issues with Montes, and I think it still has to be worked on, is pitch release point, right? And it's making a lot of his tough pitches hittable. So, and since he's come here, so I think they still need to work on that. I do agree he was much better than his stats showed last time, because Aaron Hicks, those 2 plays cost him 3 runs. So, and other than that, it would have been like a 1. He would have given up 1 run. So he has been better recently, but I also need to see a pattern of consistency from him too. You know, maybe he's throwing in something at the National League teams that they haven't seen yet, and they generally take longer to adapt than the pitchers do. So the hitters. I think he'll probably be solid today. I could see a relatively low-scoring game, maybe like a 4-3 or something like that. We're not facing Corbin Burns, as far as I know, this series. So the Yankees are dodging a huge bullet, so that's good for us. But we need to see the offense of the Yankees capitalize and jump on starters early, right? No matter who they are, and just like other starters have been doing to the Yankees quite a bit the second half. But I see Montes as still continuing to kind of improve this season. And in fact, and I said this the other day, like if I'm going to have a 3-man rotation in the playoffs, he's not in it right now. If I'm going to have a 4-man rotation, he is. My 3-man will be Cole, Cortez, and Herman, because of the consistency that he's shown recently. And he's shown, and he's also made it easier for them to bring back Luis Severino and put him in the long relief role, which I think it would be nasty. 3 innings or 4 innings of darts from Severino be a secret weapon for this team in the postseason. I worry about throwing him to the Wolves. He's not ready to throw 6 innings yet. He threw 4 in the third last night. He was solid, but like I'm worried about throwing him to the Wolves. So that's why Montez is here, right? And again, I expect him to be better next year. Generally, when a pitcher is acquired here midseason, they have their growing pains. So I expect the full season of him will be better and have less pressure on him. But I'm liking what I'm seeing a little bit more often, and he doesn't mentally fall apart. He stays in there. He still throws. He still gives them. He gave up 4 runs, but he's going 7 innings, 6 innings, giving them length that they weren't getting a lot before. So you know, you can props for that too.
Yeah, and especially, you know, and I'll throw it over to Nathan right after this. When you got Cole, because even Cole, when Cole's struggling, even if he gives up 3 or 4 runs, Garrett Cole's still going to give you 6 to 7 innings, right? So if you could get Garrett Cole and Frankie Montas, no matter what the outcome is, still give you 7 innings, that just makes it so much better for the rest of your rotation, those 3 guys afterwards, and for your bullpen. Go ahead, Nathan.
Yeah. So who's pitching today from Milwaukee?
For Milwaukee is Adrian Hauser. Adrian Hauser has a 6-9 record. He's pitching to a 4.61 ERA.
Yeah, so obviously when it comes to Frankie Montas, I think like you said, we were at that game too, and it's all the defense sucked. Obviously, Aaron Hicks dropped the ball. Harrison Bader would have made that play. By the way, Harrison Bader would definitely make that play, but like you said, Frankie Montes' start wasn't bad. It was just a defense. I look for him maybe being in the National League and a different ballpark maybe can help him tonight. Maybe a change of scenery. So I can see him going out there. We need a big outing for him. Obviously, we had a day off, which was huge, so the bullpen would be rested. I just want to see Frankie Montes be that consistent pitcher and the pitcher that we traded for to go 6-7 innings. Like an ace, like to be help out with Garrett Cole. And so I expect him to go today 6-7 innings, maybe 2 to 3 runs, 6 strikeouts. Nothing special, but just to give us some, just to eat some innings for the bullpen too. Because like I said, this is a huge series just to regroup and keep it going. So I can see Montes having a good start. And when it comes to the hitting, obviously Yankees have a track record on the wrong side facing new pitchers. So I'm hoping the Yankees can just go look at the scouting reports and just hit on early. If you see the pitch, just hit on that, swing at early pitches, score runs early to help out Montes and go from there.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm just excited. I get nervous when the Yankees don't play, right? I get very bored and I start getting into my head. I think it's bad for us when the Yankees don't play. It's bad for our mental health. But guys, I appreciate you guys coming on to the show today. Jason, like always, you are a champ. You are a GOAT in this business. Nathan, yourself, you're doing amazing things, Nathan, over there with the Jersey Sports News. And of course, with your guys at the NR Hour. Jason, I'm gonna definitely give you Nathan's number so you guys can coordinate something so you can have him on your channel whenever you want. Any last thoughts before we dip out? Go ahead, Nathan, and throw it over to Jason.
And like I said, you guys have to come. Both of you have to come on our show, talk it up. And like I said, thank you guys for having me again. And Jason, keep up the great work with your show. And also thank you for sharing that Harrison Bader interview. That means a lot. And I think that's gonna be one of my most memorable interviews I've done so far in my career, which is Harrison Bader. But like I said, we're Yankee fans. Be excited, be patient. We're giving you all the insight when it comes to the prospects in Somerset. Obviously it's going to take some time, but like I said, be excited for Harrison Bader. He's coming up soon. He'll be ready next week, and things are looking good for the Yankees. And once they get everyone back, it's all about staying healthy, staying focused. And I love saying this word, staying locked in, and finishing the season strong. And like I said, thank you.
Yeah, and thank you, Ethan, for sharing your insights and perspectives with us, and Hector for having us on. It's guys like you that make the Yankee world better, to make the Yankees channels better. So I feel like you guys are out there doing the good work, and it makes it easier for content creators and fans to be locked in too. So I thank you both, and Hector, and my channel wouldn't be where it's at without your help either. So you're a very integral part of the channel. Part of the 161 family too. So
of course, one of the first ones.
So,
yeah.
And also,
definitely.
I just want to bring up, like I said earlier, fans do not know about some of these prospects. Now they know about Andre Chaparro. It's like guys like these we need to talk about more that work their ass off every day and try move up to in the system. So that's what I love about my job is to cover prospects that are not being talked about enough. Andre Chaparro, he needs to be talked about more, in my opinion.
Yeah. And to your point, which is a really good one, Oswaldo Cabrera didn't have the same hype that Oswald Peraza and Volpe did. But look how well he's playing up here.
Yeah.
So I'm glad I'm glad that people are getting a chance to see him. And that's the key. So I'm grateful that the Yankees are giving some of these kids an opportunity now to actually show what they can do.
Yeah.
And if they're keepers, they better be kept here. So man, your insights are fantastic, Nathan. I'm looking forward to talking to you more.
Thank you.
Hector, your insights are on top of the money too, bro. So I appreciate you always having me on too, man.
Nah, appreciate both of you guys. Appreciate both of you guys. And as well, Jason, thank you for setting it up because I'll be having on Derek from NYY Recap next Tuesday. So if you guys can make sure to tune in next Tuesday, Derek will be on. It's going to be a great conversation. Appreciate everybody who tuned in today. But yeah, I'm your guy, Hector, the host of the Yankees Morning Brew. You guys see the two guys that I had on, Jason from 161 River Ave and Nathan, my man Nathan from the NR Hour. Appreciate everybody for tuning in. And we out.
Yeah.